people will never make 100,000 a year because they don't know this. Imagine this. You're excited about a new opportunity, maybe a business idea, a new job, or an investment. You're pumped, you're ready, something goes wrong, and you lose money. You get rejected. It doesn't work out the way you planned. What do? Most people hesitate. They feel like they just got punched in the gut. They start doubting themselves. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Maybe I should just play it safe. But this is the fact. The truth is that exact moment, the moment of failure, is where success is built. If you're here right now, I'm happy for you because you're going to learn a great lesson from this video and learn from so many successful people that has failed when they started. So let me ask you, have you ever experienced this moment, that split second when you have to decide whether to keep pushing or give up? Let us know in the comments if you have ever been in that position. So here is the truth. The biggest difference between the top 1% and everyone else, it's not talent, it's not luck, it's how they handle failure. Most people fear failure. They see it as an ending. But the rich, the successful, the top 1%, they see failure as fuel. And today I'm going to show you why failing more is the key to winning more. Not just in business, but in wealth, success, and life. Because the people who stay broke are the ones who fear failure. The ones who break through, they embrace it. So stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to completely change how you see failure and use it to level up your finances and your future. So let's be honest. The reason why most people don't achieve success isn't because they aren't smart enough. It's because they are afraid to fail. They don't invest because they might lose money. They don't start business because it might not work. They don't apply for that dream job because they might get rejected. So I'll give you an example of my life journey. I was once sick. I get it because I was the same. I've started so many businesses in the past and stopped. One of them was an e-commerce business. When I wasn't making enough sales, I gave up. But here's what changed. I realized that waiting to feel ready is just another way to procrastinate. Success isn't about knowing everything upfront. It's about starting before you are ready and building the habit of showing up, even when you're unsure. Science shows that our brains are wired to avoid failure because thousands of years ago, failure meant death. But in today's world, failure is no longer a threat. It's an opportunity. For example, if you look at it from a billionaire's perspective, most self-made millionaires and billionaires today have one thing in common. They failed over and over before they made it big. Howard Schultz was turned down by 217 investors before he finally got funding for Starbucks. And Walt Disney was fired from his first job because he was told he lacked imagination. And we know Jack Ma, the founder of Alibaba, he applied for 30 jobs, including KFC, and got rejected from all of them. So what you should take away from this, the cost of inaction is always greater than the cost of failure. Have you ever wondered why some people seem to bounce back stronger after a setback, while others crumble under the weight of failure? The difference isn't intelligence, it's how they see failure. For most people, failing seems like a stop sign. I lost money, so I must be bad at investing. No one bought my product, so I should quit. I didn't get that job, so I'm not good enough. But for the 1%, failure isn't a stop sign. It's a green light to try again smarter. Let's take the owner of Amazon, for example. He didn't build Amazon into $1 trillion by avoiding failures or mistakes. In fact, he welcomes failure. He once said, and I quote, "Amazon has made billions of dollars failures. If you think that's a bad thing, you're thinking about it the wrong way." Amazon has launched hundreds of failed projects. Think about the Fire Phone, Amazon Wallet, Endless.com. But each failure paved the way for something better. Without those losses, we wouldn't have Amazon Web Services, Alexa, or Prime. Another example is Elon Musk and his exploding rockets. He had a mission to make space travel affordable, but to get there, He had to do something insane, launch rockets into space. And guess what? The first three exploded. So imagine this. You pour everything into an idea, invest millions of dollars, and watch it go up in flames. Not once, not twice, but 3 times. Most people will quit, but must double down.
Yes.
He analyzed what went wrong, learned from it, and kept pushing. And that fourth rocket, it worked. And now, SpaceX is a multi-billion-dollar company. Most people say they want to succeed, but they spend their life avoiding the very thing that creates it: failure. They avoid risk. They only do what feels safe. They quit when things get uncomfortable.
No, 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 no.
Another great example is Oprah. Her early rejection when she was fired from her first TV job because they said she was unfit for television. Imagine if she had let that one rejection define her future. Instead, she pushed through failure, launched her own show, and became a media empire worth billions. So the difference between successful people and everyone else isn't talent, it's persistence. And take this with you: every failure is an investment in your future success. If you avoid failure, you are avoiding growth. So how do you use 1% rule to make failure work for you? The first thing you should do: fail small, fail fast, fail smart. Instead of making one huge risky decision, test your ideas in small ways first. You want to start a business? Don't invest $10,000 in one go. Test a small product first. You want to invest? Start with $50 instead of waiting until you have enough money. You want to change careers? Take an online course before quitting your job. So track your failures like the 1% do. Most people track their wins, but the 1% track their failures because that's where the real growth happens. So you can take an action today and create a failure journal and write down what went wrong, what you learned, what you will do differently next time. Then always take more shots than everyone else. The person who takes 100 will always beat the person who takes 10 shots. Why? Because most attempts equals more chances to success. Let's take Mark Cuban, for example. His failed startups before he became a millionaire. He started multiple businesses that failed. He lost money, made mistakes, and had setbacks, but he kept launching until he found the one that worked. The more you try, the more you win. So the fastest way to fail is to quit. The fastest way to succeed is to keep going. So what's one failure that actually taught you something valuable? Comments below and let's discuss. So, like I said, most people think success is about talent or intelligence, but the real secret is about how you think. Your mindset is either your biggest weapon or your biggest enemy. If you see failure as something to be afraid of, you hold yourself back. If you see failure as something to be used, you will keep growing until you succeed. So then, reframe failure as feedback. Every loss is a data. Think about this. When a baby is learning to walk, do they fall once and quit? No, they get back up and try again. They don't see falling as failure. They see it as part of the process. They fall many times and they get back up. So why do adults treat failure differently? Because society has trained us to believe that failure equals embarrassment. And the 1% know that every failure contains information that helps you get better. Rich people don't see losses, they see lessons. A great example is Thomas Edison and the light bulb. Edison didn't invent the light bulb in one shot. He failed 10,000 times. And when asked about it, he didn't say he failed. He said, I didn't fail. I just found 10,000 ways that won't work. So the next time something doesn't go your way, don't ask, why did this happen to me? Instead, ask, what is this teaching me? So like I mentioned, most people wait until they have it. Most people wait, and while they are waiting, someone else is failing, learning, and getting ahead. Look, the smartest way to fail is, instead of making huge risky decisions, test ideas in small, controlled ways. Take for example, the lean startup method. Successful entrepreneurs don't dump dollars into an idea. before testing it. They create small prototypes, test them, collect feedback, and improve. So you want to start a business, sell one product first. You want to invest, start with 5,000. You want to switch career, take an online course before quitting your job. So identify one goal you have been delaying. What's the smallest step you want to take today to move forward? Drop it in the comments. Don't forget, success is a numbers game. The more shots you take, the more chances you have to score. If you score 100 shots and fail 90 times, but 10 work, you win. If you only take 10 shots, you're limiting your chances to succeed. So stop treating failure like a final result. See it as a step toward winning. So set a goal for how many attempts you will make this month. Instead of fearing failure, challenge yourself to take as many shots as possible. Remember, the fastest way to fail is to quit. The fastest way to succeed is to keep going. If you've made it this far, you already understand one thing. Failure isn't the end. It's the beginning of success. So how do you actually use it to level up your life? Most people will experience failure and stop. The top 1%, they fail forward. They use every mistake as a stepping stone, a lesson, a strategy to move ahead. And here is how you can do the same. Track your failures. Don't let your mistakes go to waste. Have you ever failed at something and immediately pushed it out of your mind, pretending it never happened? That's what most people do. They try to erase failure because it feels painful. But here is the truth. The only way failure actually beats you is if you don't learn from it. Let's take, for example, Sarah Blakely. Her father had a rule when she was growing up. Every night at dinner, he would ask her, what did you fail at today? If she didn't have an answer, she would be disappointed. He taught her that failure wasn't something to be ashamed of. It was proof she was trying. That mindset helped her turn a rejected product idea into a billion-dollar brand. As I mentioned, I encourage you, and write down what went wrong. What did you learn? What will you do differently next time? What I want you to take away from this is that you can't fix what you don't analyze. Track your failures, learn and improve. Most people set success goals. The top 1% set failure goals. Because if you're aiming for X number of failures per month, it means you're taking action. Let's take like the Silicon Valley mindset. Startups in Silicon Valley encourage employees to fail. They call it failing fast. Instead of spending years planning, they launch, test, fail, adjust and grow faster than their competitors. So set a challenge for yourself. I will apply for 10 jobs I thought I wasn't qualified for. I will launch my idea, even if it's not perfect. The more you fail, the faster you succeed. So make failure a part of your strategy. Surround yourself with people that have failed and won, because the company you keep determines your mindset. If you spend your time with people who are afraid of failure, who talk about playing it safe, guess what? You'll do the same. But if you surround yourself with people who have failed, learned, and succeeded, you start thinking like them. Let's take, for example, the power of mastermind groups. Billionaires like Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Elon Musk, all have one thing in common. They spend time with other successful people who challenge them, push them, and remind them that failure is just part of the journey. So find people who have failed and bounced back. Read their books, listen to their podcasts, join communities where failure isn't shamed or studied. The thing is that your environment shapes you. Surround yourself with growth-minded people. And the brutal truth is that the only way to guarantee failure is to quit. So if you want to win, you have to keep moving forward. We all know J.K. Rowling and Harry Potter. She became one of the best-selling authors in the industry. Her book was rejected 12 times. Imagine if she had stopped at rejected number 5 or number 10. The world wouldn't have Harry Potter today. So whenever you feel like quitting, ask yourself, what if my next attempt is the one that works? What if success is just on the other side of this challenge. So take away that success is a game of resilience. The only ones who make it are the ones who keep going. So turn your fear into action. So it's your turn now. You spent this entire video learning about how the top 1% use failure to their advantage. But knowledge without action is useless. Think about this. If you've come this far, you've listened, you've learned. But what happens next? Right now, you have a choice. Stay where you are, waiting for the perfect moment, or decide that today is the day you stop letting fear control your future. Let me give you another example. The 5-second rule by Mel Robbins. Mel Robbins says that the longer we wait to act, the more likely we are to talk ourselves out of it. She created the 5-second rule. The moment you have an idea or decision to make, count 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go. Move before your brain convinces you not to. So right now, in this moment, take action. Drop in the comments. What's one thing you're afraid to start? Say it loud. Make it real. Let's turn fear into action. So listen, the real failure isn't failing. The real failure is never trying. What if your biggest success is just 1% away? What if what you've been afraid to do is a thing that will change your life and future? Failure is not the end. It's the beginning of something bigger, and your story is just getting started. So thank you for being with me up until now, and I hope you got value for the time spent. See you in my next video.